Right now on Morning News Now, an explosive new wildfire forcing tens of thousands of evacuations in Southern California, fueled by the relentless Santa Ana winds and bone-dry conditions. The inferno quickly engulfed over 10,000 acres, sending students running. They're on the ground as the state deals with another fire crisis. And from fire to ice, a deadly once-in-a-lifetime winter storm has left parts of the South frozen. The frigid temperatures creating dangerous driving conditions and forcing some to abandon their cars. The Arctic air dumped almost 10 inches of snow on New Orleans, while the Northeast and Midwest face potentially record-breaking cold. Meteorologist Michelle Grossman is tracking it all. Also this morning, new backlash to President Trump's decision to pardon roughly 1,500 January 6th criminal defendants. The president downplaying the violence in a one-on-one interview.
Some of those people with the police, true, but they were very minor incidents, okay?
How Mr. Trump is responding to criticism from within his own party. And a law requiring Louisiana classrooms to display the Ten Commandments is back in the courtroom. The legal battle now playing out after a federal judge called the law unconstitutional. Thanks so much for being with us on a Thursday.
Yeah, good morning. Good to have you with us. I'm Joe Fryer.
And I'm Savannah Sellers. We're going to begin in Los Angeles, where more than 50,000 people are under mandatory evacuation orders or warnings after the Hughes fire erupted near K-Stake late yesterday. The National Weather Service has issued red flag warnings until Friday for more than 19 million people across Southern California. The fire broke out around 11 a.m. Wednesday morning, and within hours, it exploded across more than 10,000 acres.
This new fire is just adding to the trauma of the past 3 weeks after the Palisades and Eaton wildfires decimated thousands of homes and killed dozens of people in Los Angeles. Both of those are now partially contained, but officials warn these are still 3 major active wildfires, and some residents are deeply worried about the unrelenting conditions.
It's nerve-wracking for sure, especially with all the other fires that have happened in Palisades and Altadena and Pasadena. So, yeah, I'm a little nervous right now.
NBC News correspondent Dana Griffin is live in Valencia, California. That's just south of Castaic. Dana, good morning. I mean, officials say so far no homes or buildings have been damaged, but what are conditions like right now, and just how bad could it get?
Yeah, Joe, Savannah, good morning to you. I think this is the best case scenario. We are not seeing any active flames from where we are. We are actually at a command post where we can see some National Guard vehicles actually stationed here. They have not been deployed to our knowledge, but this just shows the resources that have been on standby and ready to respond just in case. And I think that is to credit what happened here yesterday. Firefighters were able to attack the Hughes fire very quickly. This was such a fast-moving wildfire. That's why it was very concerning for residents. But as you can see, the fire there's been no forward progression of the fire. It stopped at about 10,000 acres. So this is the best case scenario. There are still some evacuation orders in place, but for residents, for now, they can breathe a little sigh of relief. Savannah?
Dana, nearly 31,000 people forced to evacuate so far. I know another 23,000 under those evacuation warnings. What are officials saying about what could happen here about this fire, how it's different maybe from the Palisades and Eaton fires we've been talking about?
Yeah, that's such a good point. I will say that when the Palisades and Eaton fires broke out 2 weeks ago, that was that particularly dangerous situation where you had 100-mile-per-hour winds. This came in overnight, so caught a lot of people off guard. And also a lot of homes were closer together, much more densely populated neighborhoods compared to this fire, the Hughes fire that started in a remote area in the hills and the mountains. So crews were able to spot it, try to drop water on it, and people saw this one coming. And this time around, officials say that more people evacuated. They didn't have to try to plead with people to leave like we had a couple of weeks ago. And that was also key. And I think because of the trauma that we've experienced in the LA, people are on edge. So people were not waiting around to see what this fire was going to do. And because we have all of these resources here from other states, from other countries in our region, they're able to jump on these fires a lot quicker. Joe?
I mean, a sign of just how quickly things can change, Dana. There was a separate evacuation warning issued just after midnight California time. That was just a brush fire in Sepulveda Pass that's north of Beverly Hills, but that's so close to so many homes. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, it's so close. So that one was another sticky situation for people that got those alerts overnight. That was only about 40 acres. So again, another scenario where firefighters were pre-deployed in some of these areas. They were able to knock that fire down pretty quickly. Evacuation orders have been lifted in that community. So for people that live in that area, I'm sure they are so grateful for the firefighters that have been working around the clock tirelessly to make sure that these fires that have been popping up across our region are put out as quickly as possible. And one other thing that just kind of I thought about was the fact that the winds have been strong. We are still under that red flag warning, but they were not as gusty to where the helicopters couldn't be up. You know, compared to the Palisades and Eaton fires, those aircraft had to be grounded, and that was not the case this time. So that has been a huge help to get this fire and the other fires knocked down.
Knocking those things down so quickly. All right, Dana, thank you so much.
Well, first responders battle those raging fires and dry, windy conditions there in California. Tens of millions of people in the South are still under cold alerts. It comes after a record-breaking winter storm dropped nearly a foot of snow along the Gulf Coast, leaving at least 4 people dead. Thousands of people still don't have power this morning across multiple states, while some roads and highways remain impassable under layers of ice. NBC News correspondent George Solis is in New Orleans, Louisiana, with the latest.
Good morning from an iconic and frozen Bourbon Street. You can see there is a sheet of ice here on the ground. Very treacherous for driving, which is why officials are still urging people to stay off the roads. Now, keep in mind, we actually had some sunlight yesterday, which helped melt a lot of this ice. The concern was once the sun went down, a lot of this ended up refreezing, making really slick conditions and that chance for black ice to exponentially increase. Now, you may not be able to see it, but there are some snow piles in and around corners here. That's because crews worked around the clock to clear as much of the snow off of Bourbon Street and the surrounding area as possible to try and make sure foot traffic could get in and around some of these restaurants that decided to reopen. Now, we did talk to a number of people that were out here yesterday. Some of them braving the conditions apart from the cold, some of them actually slipping. So again, just giving you, again, an example of why you probably should try to wait for all of this to melt. Meanwhile, power outages continue in Florida and Georgia. Unfortunately, we know this snowstorm has been fatal. It has claimed several lives in Mobile, Alabama. The Civic Center out there actually collapsing because of the weight of the snow. Again, this historic snowstorm that really just left an unprecedented amount of snow here in the deep south. Now, as far as the outlook, well, temperatures are expected to start warming up, so fortunately some of this could start melting. The other big concern is that travel, including airports. Jacksonville International Airport set to reopen in Alabama. Officials are going to assess some of those runways today to see if it is safe enough to reopen to resume those flights. Again, some folks telling us, look, they haven't minded weathering the storm, so to speak, but they are ready for this to melt because, again, after all, this is the South. This is not what they're accustomed to. It was nice for a few days, but it is time to say sayonara to this cold weather, guys. Back to you.
All right, George, thank you.
Let's stay with those dangerous fire and ice headlines. Get a check on your morning news now weather.
Meteorologist Michelle Grossman has your outlook. Hey, Michelle, good morning.
Good morning, guys. And we still have those fire alerts in place for today. Things will improve by tomorrow. We're going to have a big difference over the weekend. I'll show you that in just a minute. But for today, we still have those winds gusting up to 40, 50, 60, even 70 miles per hour in the highest mountains. Really dry, too. We're looking at single digits relative humidity. That adds to it really dry debris on the ground as well. So where you see the pink here, that's where the alerts are. Places like Santa Clarita, Riverside, Temecula, down to Escondido. Again, 10 million people. Now, we're going to start to see some improvement. This is really good news. Tomorrow, we're going to see the winds switch onshore. That's going to bring in some humidity. It'll bring up the humidity levels. And we're going to see cooler temperatures return as well. And then look what happens over the weekend. We have an area of low pressure that's going to drop from the north to the south. It's going to bring some lower elevation rain and some higher elevation snow. Now, the only unfortunate part is we could see some debris flow in portions where we saw the fire. So that's going to be part of the problem. But really, this is good news for these areas. Could see up to an inch in some spots. So we're going to watch that over the weekend. And we're going to see the snow falling as well. Snow levels down to 3,000 feet. And we could see quite a bit of snow in some spots. That's going to be very helpful. Up to 2 feet where you see those pink coloring, and also 18 inches where you see the purple. So we're going to continue to watch that over the weekend. Also bitterly cold. Good news is this is starting to ease, as well as George mentioned. We have 36 million people this morning, a really cold morning, especially along the Gulf Coast, the Southeast, where we're not used to those temperatures. But temperatures are starting to moderate, and especially by the weekend, we're going to see some improvement. New Orleans, Panama City, Jacksonville, Myrtle Beach, Norfolk, Elkins under a cold alert this morning. When we say cold alert, it means a extreme cold advisory or an extreme cold warning. So that pink color, the darker pink, is an extreme cold warning. This is why we're looking at temperatures in the 20s as we go towards the later part of today in Chicago. Still below normal for this time of year, but much better than where they have been. That's about 10 degrees below what is average for this time of year. Still really cold in the south. Mobile just 39, 21 degrees below typical temperatures, and Tampa 51 degrees. But notice the cold air is from the Rockies all the way to the East Coast. So that cold dome does stay in place. Friday, we start to see it ease a little bit more. Look where you see the yellow and the orange. Those are warming temperatures. So we're going to be back to average, if not above average, in portions of the northern plains, parts of the central plains as well. Still cold, though, in the East Coast. We're looking at New York City, 31 degrees. That's below freezing for this time of year. And we're looking at 46, or it's below freezing for any time of year.
Right. It is always below freezing at 31.
I just caught myself saying that. As we go throughout the weekend, this is what we want to see, though. 39 on Sunday, by Monday, 37 degrees. So things are improving.
Everyone's craving those average January temperatures. Yes. Get us back to average.
It's funny. You walk outside, you're like, not too bad, 23 degrees.
Saw someone in shorts.
Exactly.
Saw someone in shorts last night.
Can't wait for that.
So, all right. Thanks, Michelle.
Sure.
It's ridiculous. Thank you. Let's turn to Washington now, where President Trump continues to face serious backlash over his decision to pardon defendants linked to the January 6th Capitol insurrection.
On Wednesday, the former leader of the far-right group Proud Boys, Enrique Tarrio, returned home to Miami. He had been sentenced to 22 years in prison for seditious conspiracy, a sentence that was commuted this week by the president. Also convicted of that same charge and then released was Oath Keepers founder Stuart Rhodes. He was spotted yesterday in Washington, where he said he was meeting with lawmakers. Speaking to Fox News yesterday, the president dismissed the bipartisan criticism over his decision and downplayed what happened on January 6th.
They were treated like the worst criminals in history. And you know what they were there for? They were protesting the vote because they knew the election was rigged and they were protesting the vote. And that you should be allowed to protest a vote. You should be allowed to. You know, when the day comes...
You shouldn't be able to invade the Capitol.
No, some of those people with the police, true, but they were very minor incidents, okay? You know, they get built up by that couple of fake guys. This was a political hoax.
NBC News senior White House correspondent Kelly O'Donnell joins us now. Kelly, good morning. So the president clearly doesn't seem to be backing away from his decision to pardon these defendants. What more did he have to say about this? And what have we been hearing from some of these people from their release, the people Joe mentioned, Tarrio and Rhodes?
Well, it is striking to hear the president describe these events this way, because a political hoax is a term he's used in a number of areas when he has not liked the set of facts. But this is an event that the American people saw on video. They saw the violence. It was a sustained attack on the Capitol, and even a close ally and friend of the president, Sean Hannity, raised the question of, but you can't go into the Capitol and try to impede the orderly business, to attack officers and so forth. So the president is really trying to dismiss, discredit, and downplay these events. His pardon power is absolute. His descriptions of these events can be challenged because it does not line up with the facts. Tarrio and Rhodes, who were described by prosecutors and were ultimately convicted with the most serious charges of seditious conspiracy, were accused of organizing and helping to sort of fuel this attack on the Capitol because of their deep connections to these militant groups that they represent. And coming out of prison, they are talking about vindication, talking about that this is the right decision, and certainly they're breathing free air and are happy about that. On a human level, someone can certainly understand their freedom is something they're excited about, but they are also casting this as validation for their point of view. And so it will be interesting to watch how they conduct themselves going forward. And many of the critics of this decision are concerned that this empowers them. And again, they have been espousing political violence for a long time.
Kelly, we talk about critics. That includes police officers who were impacted, many of them injured, many traumatized by January 6th. Some of them did hold an emotional news conference in Washington yesterday, condemning the president's pardons and these commutations. What are they saying?
Well, the president called these minor incidents, and yet these officers who lived through it, who sustained injuries, more than 140 officers were injured. Some of those images are seared into all of our minds, including what happened to Daniel Hodges, a Metropolitan Police officer. You have seen the video where he is trapped in a door and is literally screaming in a sustained way because of the pain of what he was experiencing. Daniel Hodges today talked about the experience.
They called me a traitor, telling me to remember my oath. I was beaten, crushed, kicked, punched, surrounded, and all these people were just pardoned by Donald Trump, who says that they were the real victims, that they were the patriots. I don't understand how anyone can believe that.
That emotion, his life experience, officers take an oath to serve the public. And as you see, those who were victimized on that day, some of them coming forward to give their experience and to counter what the president and some of his supporters have said as they are casting the events of January 6, 2021 in a very different light. Joe, Savannah?
Kelly O'Donnell, thank you very much.
It's beginning to look as though thousands of federal employees are facing an uncertain future as President Trump looks to remake the U.S. government's workforce. He issued an executive order targeting diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI efforts across federal agencies. And that's not all, as NBC News senior White House correspondent Gabe Gutierrez reports.
From the government agencies that oversee air travel to public health to criminal justice, a new sweeping effort to dismantle federal programs focused on diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Our country is going to be based on merit again. Can you believe it?
President Trump making good on a campaign promise, giving agencies just 60 days to get rid of all DEI positions. A new government memo directing federal agencies to place all DEI employees on paid leave.
Nice to see you.
It's the latest move in a sweeping effort to clean house, surpassing the typical turnover when a new president and a new party take power, aiming to remake the federal government in the image of President Trump's Make America Great Again movement. Just minutes into his new term, President Trump seemed to be warding off fears that a vast campaign of retribution was on the way.
Never again will the immense power of the state be weaponized to persecute political opponents.
But what followed in the first 48 hours of his presidency may tell a different story, using some of his first strokes of the pen from the Oval Office to make it easier to fire federal employees and to take aim at perceived enemies, like Mark Milley, the former Joint Chiefs of Staff general who went through a major public falling out at the end of Trump's first term. Milley's portrait, less than a week old, was taken off the walls of the Pentagon in the hours after Trump's swearing in, following a preemptive pardon from President Biden. Just after midnight on Tuesday morning, President Trump saying his first day in office wasn't over yet, writing 1,000 presidential appointees left over from the Biden administration were on their way out, including celebrity chef and humanitarian Jose Andres, a Biden appointee on the Council of Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition. President Trump using a tagline from his apprentice days, saying, "You're fired." The only problem, Andres replied, his term was up. He'd already resigned. But it's not just well-known names on the chopping block. The president firing the TSA administrator, one of his own appointees from the first Trump administration, and canning the leader of the Coast Guard for her apparent failure to address border security threats and an excessive focus on DEI initiatives. Still, the president appears to be focusing much of his efforts on the day-to-day workers in the Justice Department, moving to dismiss 4 top DOJ officials who oversee the country's immigration courts, one of them saying she was shocked and disappointed by the move. Nearly 24 other senior Justice Department staffers reassigned to other jobs. Other officials apparently seeing the writing on the wall. Top employees at the U.S. Attorney's Office, the Bureau of Prisons, and the FBI resigning or stepping back from their roles in the days after Trump took office. The president clearing a path for the most loyal of loyalists to take on big jobs, like Kash Patel, Trump's pick to lead the FBI, who's echoed false conspiracy theories around the 2020 election and promised to take on the so-called deep state. journalists as well as civil servants perceived as Trump's enemies.
All these people have clearances. They all still have clearances. Gone. I mean, the list will be massive.
Also, Ed Martin, a conservative activist and prominent member of the Stop the Steal movement, now in charge of the U.S. Attorney's Office in D.C., which oversaw hundreds of cases related to the insurrection. While the start of every administration brings turnover, these actions by the president, just days into his latest term, appear on the verge of something unprecedented.
That was Gabe Gutierrez reporting the Trump administration also revoked an executive order signed by President Lyndon B. Johnson back in the 60s aimed at banning discrimination by federal contractors and subcontractors.
Well, President Trump's controversial executive order challenging birthright citizenship will face its first legal test later this morning in federal court. A federal judge in Seattle is set to hear arguments by 4 states looking to block the executive order. Mr. Trump signed the order on Monday that limits birthright citizenship to people who have at least one parent who is a U.S. citizen or permanent resident. The 14th Amendment was ratified after the Civil War. It guarantees birthright citizenship to anyone born in the United States, except for the children of diplomats.
In the legislature, Congress gave final passage yesterday to the Laken-Riley Act, which is expected to be the first bill President Trump will sign into law. The legislation would allow for the detention of undocumented immigrants who are arrested for certain crimes.
For more on this, we're now joined by Michelle B. Goodwin, professor of constitutional law and global health policy at Georgetown Law School. Good morning. Thanks very much for joining us, Professor. Let's get started with today's court hearing in Seattle that we just mentioned. So this is on that birthright citizenship executive order. After President Trump signed that, Democratic attorneys general sued to block this attempt. 4 states, Arizona, Illinois, Oregon, and Washington, they also filed their own suit, which is today's hearing. Walk us through what we could hear.
Well, what we can hear is that the 14th Amendment, which was ratified in 1868, what you've just quoted from it is the very first line of it. It comes after the Civil War, and its origins related to American slavery and the fact that formerly enslaved individuals were not entitled to citizenship that was recognized in the states, which then limited their true equality and their true ability to be able to flourish in the United States. So the very first sentence of the 14th Amendment, which comes after the 13th Amendment abolishing slavery, is that. And this is an incredible departure. It's the kind of executive order, of course, that's never been issued by a president and raises significant questions about whether a president on his own has the unilateral authority to just simply wipe away a constitutional amendment. You can imagine, for example, a president signing an order saying that free speech is no longer the law of the land in the United States, or saying that the 4th Amendment, which entitles individuals to a right to privacy, no longer exists in the United States, or the 10th Amendment, which gives states the rights to be able to enact laws that are not already into law by the federal government, that is over. So in itself, it is extreme, and then its underlying content is something that very likely would not withstand scrutiny from the Supreme Court, certainly if they do lean into their originalist methodology.
Yeah, I mean, Professor, it seems as though the ultimate goal might be to get this issue in front of the Supreme Court. It feels like on paper, to someone who's not a legal scholar like me, the Constitution's pretty straightforward on this one, but this is this supermajority conservative Supreme Court. Could they, if it got to them, end up siding with the executive order? I mean, how would you expect the justices to handle this?
That's a very good question, because the court has been under incredible scrutiny about what one might call an opportunistic originalism, meaning that even though the supermajority of the court, the majority of them, claim to be originalists, they're not always on the same side. And it also means that they're not always purely using that methodology. The court has been quite inconsistent. But that said, there was a case in 1898 that followed this 1868 amendment, and it was brought by an individual who was of Chinese origin, who had left the country and wanted to come back. And he was the kind of person who might have been affected by an executive order like this over 100 years ago. And the Supreme Court upheld this 14th Amendment birthright citizenship in that particular case, which is kind of the case that one might see arising from this. What the court will do, we really don't know. I will say this, that the majority of Americans have increasingly found mistrust in this Supreme Court, but we don't know what that outcome would be.
Michelle, quickly on this last one, we do want to touch on this Laken-Riley Act that Congress has passed. It gives President Trump his real first legislative win of this second term. This was named after a 22-year-old Georgia nursing student who was murdered by an undocumented immigrant. It would allow undocumented immigrants to be detained for certain crimes. Walk us through this one.
That's right, detained and possibly deported, and notably not after being convicted of a crime, but just simply having been charged with a crime. And that's something that's being emphasized by individuals who oppose this legislation, which was passed bipartisanly. There were over 100, nearly 150 Democrats who signed on to this legislation, which is different than even just a year or two before, when there was not that level of support by Democrats, and the law, this kind of law did not pass. So that's what's significant here. It's not even after being convicted of a crime, but instead simply being charged with a crime.
Michelle Goodwin, thank you very much for joining us.
A federal appeals court is expected to hear arguments today over a Louisiana law that requires all public school classrooms to display the Ten Commandments.
A federal judge back in November blocked the state law, saying it's, quote, unconstitutional on its face. The judge blocked Louisiana education officials from enforcing the requirement in public schools.
NBC News correspondent Marissa Parr is following this one for us. Marissa, good morning. So bring us up to speed on this case. Explain this Louisiana law, how it's fared so far in court, and what we can expect here.
Right. So what this was proposing was that all classrooms in this state would have the Ten Commandments displayed. And we've seen a wave of similar legislation when it comes to Bibles being put in classrooms, chaplains being put in schools. So this one specifically, proponents were saying that this was not religious specifically, that this had historical context. But those who challenged this, civil rights groups, including the ACLU, say this was an infringement on First Amendment rights. And this was people of all faiths, by the way. We saw families who were Jewish, who were atheists, and who were Christian, non-religious, whatever it might be. They said that they felt like this was going to be pressuring their students. What we saw in November was there was a court in Louisiana that challenged this. And so this was supposed to be, according to court order, paused starting in November until we saw these oral arguments that are starting today. Despite this, however, we have seen, we saw Attorney General in Louisiana issue guidance for classrooms at the start of the year, because this was when this was supposed to go into effect. This was signed by the governor. So obviously a lot of confusion for classrooms, because the Attorney General is saying this court order to pause this only applies to some classrooms. Courts are saying otherwise. So there's been a lot of confusion as we are just starting to see those classrooms go back to school, of course, depending on the school district. But those oral arguments that could potentially set that confusion clear, those oral arguments start at 10:30 Eastern, guys.
Marissa, back in 1980, the Supreme Court actually heard arguments and ruled on something similar. This was in Kentucky. What happened there?
Right. So similar bills have been proposed. And actually, the civil rights groups who filed and challenged this specific proposal in Louisiana argue that this is a direct violation of precedent set over 40 years ago by the U.S. Supreme Court, because Kentucky tried to do the exact same thing and they did not succeed. But guys, I will point out, we've seen this before in the Supreme Court, the changing impact that precedent has on how these things go. So especially with the conservative makeup that we see right now, that precedent that was set in Kentucky doesn't necessarily guarantee that this may not or may go a certain way. So it remains to be seen. Yep. But those oral arguments start at 10:30, and those will be very telling. We'll be right here to tell you how it goes.
And that's something we were just discussing with the professor a moment ago. All right, Marissa, thank you so much.
We've got a lot more to get to this morning, including new developments in that deadly Turkish ski resort fire, what we've learned about the 9 people taken into custody.
Up first, controlling the codes. We're going to take a look at how that handoff of the nuclear football works during a presidential transition. That's next.
Welcome back. Assuming the office of the president comes, of course, with critical responsibilities. One of the most serious is the transfer of control of the world's most powerful nuclear arsenal. While there's no official ceremony marking the changeover of America's nuclear protocols, there is a carefully coordinated process that happens behind the scenes, one that includes an iconic briefcase passed down to every president since JFK. Stay tuned now. Anchor Gotti Schwartz tells us more.
Rotate launch key to set. 3, 2, 1.
The United States under nuclear attack.
Such a detonation could result in an estimated 1.5 million immediate fatalities.
Hypothetical scenarios
All missiles enabled.
have been simulated by scientists and Hollywood writers for decades.
When one side launches nuclear missiles, the other side detects them and fires back.
But how nuclear war would actually play out comes down to one person and one presidential satchel. Every commander-in-chief since the Cuban Missile Crisis has kept this leather-bound briefcase close by just in case.
We will not prematurely or unnecessarily risk the course of worldwide nuclear war, in which even the fruits of victory would be ashes in our mouth.
The nuclear football represents the president's ultimate nuclear authority and is always nearby. Inside, there's no big red button. The football holds codes to verify the president's identity and a menu of preset military responses. In a nuclear attack, the president only has minutes to act. A decision that could trigger America's nuclear triad. ICBMs ready to be launched by ground, strategic bombers by air, and nuclear-powered submarines on standby across the globe.
And all it takes is one madman, and you're going to have a problem the likes of which the world has never seen.
And in 2025, that football remains a symbol of U.S. deterrence in a world where nuclear posturing is louder than ever.
Russian President Vladimir Putin has formally lowered the threshold for his country's use of nuclear weapons.
North Korea would, without hesitation, use all its attack capabilities. Use of nuclear weapons is not ruled out.
Whatever comes next, the president's options won't be far away.
Our thanks to Gotti Schwartz for that report. A military aide carrying that nuclear football remains close to the president at all times, ready to carry out the well-rehearsed command and control of the country's nuclear weapons in just minutes.
Time for a look at what's making headlines around the world. We're starting in Turkey, where 9 people have now been detained for questioning after that deadly hotel fire at a popular ski resort.
Claudia Lavanga joins us with Rome with that and more. Hey, Claudia, good morning.
Savannah, Joe, good morning. That's right. Turkish authorities say they detained 9 people as part of an investigation into that fire in the north of Turkey in a hotel that killed at least 76 people. Now, in the middle of the night on Tuesday, the fire started in the restaurant of the hotel in a ski resort in the north of the country and quickly spread. Some of the guests died after they jumped from their room windows, while others managed to escape using bed sheets as ropes. Investigators are looking into the hotel's safety measures as survivors reported they heard no fire alarms and said they had to navigate in the smoke-filled corridors in complete darkness. Let's go to Australia now, where a new study found that color bleaching on the Great Barrier Reef is reaching catastrophic levels due to the record rise in the ocean's temperature. A team of Australian scientists say more than 50% of affected corals monitored near an island on the south of the reef were killed last year during what they called the most severe and widespread bleaching to ever hit the area. With oceans warming up, corals come under stress and expel algae from the tissue, draining their beautiful color. Let's end this tour of the world at the top of the world on Mount Everest, where the price to climb it is set to increase for the first time in nearly a decade. Authorities in Nepal said that from September, the price to climb Everest during peak season will be $15,000, a 36% rise. Expert mountaineers often criticize Nepal for allowing too many people on Everest, leading to overcrowding and littering. Now, in 2024, Nepal's Supreme Court ordered the government to limit the number of climbers' permits, but it's unclear whether the rise in the price will deter anyone, because the price may be sky high, but so is the top of the Everest, and for some climbers, well, to reach it is priceless.
Yeah,
back to you guys.
No kidding. Oh, that's going to be my excuse now why I'm not climbing Mount Everest. Just too expensive
Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah.
That's why I can't
Otherwise,
do
we'd
it.
be right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks, Claudia. Appreciate
Thank you.
it. Coming up, a scene that's become all too familiar, chaos at a Tennessee high school.
What we've learned about a deadly shooting inside a Nashville cafeteria, that's next. We're back now with some developing news out of Texas this morning. San Antonio's police chief said 7 officers were shot at an apartment complex in the city last night. He said the officers were responding to a call from a member of the suspect's family about a suicide in progress. The suspect, who has not been named, barricaded himself inside the apartment for several hours. He was later found dead, although the cause of death is not clear. The 7 officers all sustained non-life-threatening injuries.
Investigators in Nashville are trying to figure out why a teenager opened fire inside a high school cafeteria, killing 1 student. Police say the gunman was 17 years old. Using a handgun, he killed a 16-year-old student and injured another. Then he fatally shot himself. NBC News correspondent Jesse Kirsch reports.
These were the chaotic moments deadly gunfire erupted inside Antioch High School,
He shot himself.
followed by the realization of what had happened. Police say 17-year-old Solomon Henderson, armed with a pistol, opened fire inside his Nashville area school's cafeteria, killing 16-year-old Jocelyn Correa Escalante. Police say a bullet grazed another 17-year-old boy before the shooter killed himself.
We believe there's some materials out there, and if maybe they were seen, maybe and said something, maybe more could have been done.
Investigators do not yet know if this was a targeted attack, but say there is no ongoing threat to the community. Hours after the attack, students evacuated by the busload. This teen says the shooter was her classmate.
He was not a kid that you would think would do something like that. He stayed on task. He did his work. He was quiet.
One mother describing a call from her panicking son.
He said, "Mom, they're shooting." I said, "Where are you?" And he said, "I'm outside now. I'm running." I said, "Just run and hide. Stay low. I'm on my way."
They were later reunited. The son says he heard gunshots and screams.
We ran behind the garbage cans. We saw people getting shot on the ground, bleeding and stuff. It's really heartbreaking because it's like just seeing someone you know just die like in front of your face like that.
It breaks my heart that it's normal. It should not be normal.
Police also say a student who was not shot fell, injuring his face. Meanwhile, no motive has been announced. Back to you.
All right, Jesse, thank you.
Well, arguments were heard by the Supreme Court in a case that could have a major ripple effect on policing all across the country. It was brought by a Texas mother who claims that the officer who shot and killed her son during a routine traffic stop in 2016 used excessive force. NBC News senior legal correspondent Laura Jarrett has more.
It happened in just seconds. 24-year-old Ashton Barnes pulled over on the side of this Texas highway. The rental car he was driving believed to have outstanding toll violations. Officer Roberto Felix Jr. appearing on the driver's side door, soon drawing his gun, prompting Barnes to take off, as Felix jumps onto the car's running board and fires, killing Barnes at the scene. Now, nearly a decade later, Barnes' mother, Janice Hughes, hoping the U.S. Supreme Court will change how courts treat these deadly police encounters nationwide.
I really honestly know that in my heart, Ashton did not deserve to die that day. Took a piece of me, an entire piece of me, that I can never get back. I have to learn how to live with that missing piece.
A grand jury declined to indict Officer Felix on criminal charges, but Hughes brought a civil lawsuit that has faced an uphill battle. Lower courts finding Felix did not use excessive force. Their inquiry into his actions confined, focused only on the question of whether he reasonably believed he was in danger in the seconds before he shot Barnes. Felix saying this at the time.
I gotta ask, why did you fire your weapon?
Well, when he started to drive off, I thought that I was going to get run over.
In arguments today, the justices wrestling with whether to say courts must broaden their inquiry and consider all the events leading up to a shooting, which could include officers putting themselves at risk. Some of the justices appearing wary that could make it more difficult for police to do their jobs.
What's an officer supposed to do when at a traffic stop and someone pulls away? Just let them go?
No matter the outcome, Hughes says she had to fight for her son.
This could be anybody. I could be anyone's mother sitting here right now.
Laura Jarrett, NBC News.
Coming up, a new film is taking a look at the 1972 Munich Olympics hostage crisis that saw a deadly terrorist attack streamed live to hundreds of millions of TV viewers.
We sat down with one of the real-life producers who lived through that experience. He talks about the movie just ahead. Back now with some money news. Saudi Arabia says it wants to expand investments in America over the next few years.
CNBC's Silvana Hanau joins us with that and some other news for us. Hey, Silvana, good morning.
Hey, Savannah. Hey, Joe. Good Thursday morning to you. Yes, so Saudi Arabia's crown prince says the kingdom wants to invest $600 billion in the United States over the next 4 years during a phone call with President Trump. Now, the comments reported by Saudi state-run media come after the president put a price tag on returning to the country as his first foreign trip. Now, it's unclear where the investments or trade would go. The U.S. has pulled back from relying on Saudi oil in recent years, but Saudi sovereign wealth funds have bought large stakes in American companies and invested in sports. Less than half of Americans say they'd use their savings to pay for an emergency expense of $1,000 or more. A new Bankrate survey finds a majority also can't afford an emergency expense of that amount. And more than 40% would borrow the money in some form, and that includes using a credit card or taking out a personal loan. More than 2/3 of people say they're saving less for unexpected emergencies because of inflation. And Samsung and Google are developing augmented reality glasses. Samsung telling Bloomberg there's no specific timeline to launch the glasses, but the companies hope to do so as soon as possible, and they will reportedly include Google's Gemini AI assistant, allowing users to speak to their glasses, ask them to check email and text and other tasks, guys.
And then
so
I'll
it's
be
not,
sitting...
we don't look at our phone anymore now. We just right here.
Right, exactly. And then I'll be sitting next to them and think they're talking to me, and I'll go, what?
Right.
And then they'll,
oh, my God. I know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can't wait. All right, Silvana, thank you.
Thank you. There's a new film out in theaters. It reenacts the historic moment a global audience witnessed a terror attack on live television. September 5th, it's called, and it depicts the events that happened on that day in 1972 during the Summer Olympic Games in Munich, Germany.
Members of a Palestinian militant group broke into the Israeli athletes' quarters in the Olympic Village and took them hostage. 11 Israeli athletes were killed. It unfolded as roughly 900 million people were watching on live television. Savannah and I recently sat down with Jeff Mason, one of the TV producers who was covering the Olympics when the attack happened. Jeff, good to have you with us. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it. So you were one of the producers who was in the control room when this terror attack unfolded. I mean, take us back to that day and what was going through your mind?
You know, Joe, we were so busy trying to figure out how to cover this evolving crisis. We didn't really have a lot of time to think about what was right, what was wrong. We just wanted to follow our boss, Roone Arledge's mantra, which was tell the stories that you can find with integrity. And so we were so busy doing that we didn't really have much time to think about why we're here and how we feel about it, because we just had too much to do.
But maybe put in context for viewers.
Yeah.
Being a sports producer is not the same as being a breaking news producer and watching something like that unfold. How difficult was that to kind of on the fly be making decisions that you're not used to making?
That's true, but I will say that news people and sports people, if they're doing their jobs right, are telling stories about people, okay? Good and bad. Yeah. And so Roone Arledge taught us how to tell stories about people with integrity. So, yes, we had not been involved in telling news information, but it was still another story about people, and it was only 100 yards away. So within the perspective of the Olympics, we felt quite comfortable.
This story has been, of course, told before through Steven Spielberg and what happened with the movie Munich, but this gives it a different perspective. What will people who maybe seen Munich take away from this movie? What are some of the things about it that are different, the lens in which this story is told?
I think, Joe, they'll learn more about how stories are told, how television works, how people who are doing the storytelling act, and how the language we use. it's a very complex business, and it takes us quite a while to learn how to do it, as you both know. And so if we can give a bit of a snapshot on how TV works, whether it's sports or news, I think we'll feel good about it. I think giving people a bit of an inside look at how we do our work, we're happy to do that. We're happy to have that opportunity.
This event was centered on geopolitical tensions that could not be more pertinent in the news today. How do you think that this will be received at this particular time?
You know, I'm going to leave that up to the people who get paid a lot of money to give perspective, if you will. We were just doing a job that day. We didn't have time that day to think about perspective or, you know, what the parameters were, so to speak. We just wanted to tell the story the best way we could. And I'll leave it up to the historians. They're a lot better at that than I am.
When you saw the movie, what was your reaction?
I've never had anybody play me, Joe. And
how'd he do?
He did great. John Magaro is fantastic. He and I talked a lot, got to know each other in the process of making the movie. I was very proud. The only reason I joined this project with the German production team was I wanted to make sure that we had an opportunity to tell this story the way it needed to be told. They did an amazing job. We were able to get footage from Jim McKay and people like that. So I felt excited. I was a little scared. It's really strange when you hear your name on the screen being played by somebody that you don't really know. But we had spent a lot of time together. He made me feel comfortable, and the more I got into it, the more I was okay with it.
Jeff Mason, thank you so much for joining us. Fascinating. Congratulations on being part of this project. Everybody go see it now.
Thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
And as I just mentioned there, September 5th is in theaters now.
And it is getting fantastic reviews. All right, coming up, he was one of the hardest throwers in baseball.
And now he's bound for Cooperstown, the emotional call he's waited more than a decade to receive. Next.
And just in time for championship weekend in the NFL, let's end the hour with a look at one artist who combined her gift of drawing lifelike portraits with her love of the Chiefs. Well, now she has some fans of her own. Todd Palmer from our Kansas City affiliate KSHB has her story.
Caitlin Snelling drew a picture of Dan Sorensen in colored pencil a few years ago that caught his wife's attention.
She's like, oh, I love the drawing you did of Dan. And I was like, I would love to give you a print.
But plans to meet hit a snag.
And she texted me, I'm already on my way there. She goes, something came up. Is it okay if I send my husband instead? And I was like, yes, that's fine. She's like, if you have an extra one with you, he'll sign it.
Drawing a portrait of a Chiefs player in colored pencil is a labor of love for Caitlin.
My typical drawing takes anywhere between 80 and 200 hours. I grew up a military kid, so we moved all the time and didn't really have a community.
But she did have the Kansas City Chiefs, which was her dad's favorite team no matter where he was stationed.
I just wanted to spend time with my dad, and he would be sitting there watching a game, and so I would be sitting right up under his arm watching the game with him.
She started drawing portraits after a flooded basement prompted a Chiefs cave renovation.
When we were looking at artwork for the walls, everything related to sports is really busy. We couldn't find exactly what we're looking for. And my husband was like, you know what, you should draw something.
She gained attention from the Chiefs and Chiefs Kingdom ever since with her lifelike portraits.
What do you think of all your mom's art?
I love it.
What do you love about it?
How it looks like a picture, and I like the colors.
Players across the NFL and their families have sought out Caitlin.
I really like when players or actually players' moms are the ones who reach out to me the most.
Patrick Mahomes' mom, Randy, family and friends of Harrison Butker. Caitlin is still shocked by the people who reach out.
I have no idea how it got as big as it got.
Our thanks to Todd Palmer for that report. Caitlin will have plenty more to cheer about this Sunday with the Chiefs set to face the Buffalo Bills in the AFC Championship game for a spot in Super Bowl 59 and a chance to three-peat, which would be something else.
It really would be, and that's going to be a good game.
Exactly. All right, that is going to do it for this hour of Morning News Now.
Stay with us, though. The news continues right now. Good morning, and thanks for starting your day with us. I'm Savannah Sellers.
I'm Joe Fryer. Right now on Morning News Now, fanning the flames. No relief for those in Southern California. A massive new wildfire threatening thousands of acres of LA land, forcing even more evacuations. We are on the ground with how fire crews are fighting back against a relentless Mother Nature. Out east, a frosty split screen of winter weather that's leaving millions of Americans out in the cold. A brutal once-in-a-lifetime snowstorm proving to be a lasting headache for folks who are traveling along the Gulf Coast. Well, in the Northeast, that bitter blast of frigid air causing the Hudson River to actually freeze up. So when will some warmer temps head our way? We've got your full forecast in just a moment. Inflation is back in the spotlight this morning. Americans grappling with rising prices at both the pump and the checkout counter. Can President Trump fulfill that campaign promise to keep more green in your wallet? We are crunching the numbers. And the nominees are, it's that time of the year again. Oscar season is upon us. So which of your favorite films got a notable nod this time around? And of course, who got snubbed? It's all going to be revealed later in the hour. This is one of those years where it's considered a wide open field. So there will be snubs no matter what, because not everyone's going to get nominated.
Right.
So it'll be fun to...
Yeah, it's such a powerhouse here.
Exactly.
Like. Yeah.
There'll be some good stuff. Right. Let's begin this hour in Southern California. Tens of thousands of people in Castaic, north of Los Angeles, are under evacuation orders or warnings for yet another dangerous wildfire. It's called the Hughes Fire. It erupted around 11 a.m. yesterday and has already burned more than 10,000 acres.
This comes less than 3 weeks after the Palisades and Eaton fires wiped out thousands of structures and killed more than 24 people in Los Angeles. NBC News correspondent Liz Kreutz is on the ground in Castaic with the latest.
Well, hey, guys, good morning. I mean, the conditions here have just been relentless, giving firefighters no rest as they've had to pivot from fighting the Palisades and Eaton fires to now battling the massive fire that ignited here. You can see some of the damage as the flames tore down this hill towards the town behind me here, forcing thousands from their homes. This morning, the all-too-familiar glow of flames quickly spreading over huge swaths of land just north of burn-scarred Los Angeles. And a new brush fire popping up overnight in the city near the famed Getty Center, sparking evacuation warnings as strong winds fan the flames of the Hughes Fire, which consumed more than 10,000 acres in just a matter of hours, and officials say has been very difficult to contain.
The weather is what's predominantly driving this fire, and it's spread right now.
This is a fast-moving fire. It's been growing acres by the minute. You can see the flames here. They've been coming down the hillside. It is all driven by these strong winds, and this is what officials have been warning about and worried about all week. Massive plumes of smoke turning the sky black. Homes, a detention center, and schools in the town of Castaic evacuated. How worried are you about all this?
Very. Obviously, we've never had to go to this extent to protect ourselves from fire.
Students in the middle of the school day forced to flee to safety. Others preparing to evacuate, but staying as long as they can to protect their homes and property. As nearby, Los Angeles is still reeling from the massive wildfires earlier this month that killed 27 people and left entire neighborhoods devastated. Now, firefighters getting back in the air and on the ground to battle the new blazes. And now the massive multi-agency efforts and 4,000 firefighters on this fire have been able to make some really good progress, essentially putting out a majority of the flames overnight. No homes have burned so far, but the winds, they're erratic. They continue to be a concern with red flag warning conditions in effect for most of LA County through Friday. Guys.
All right, Liz, thank you.
As California battles those windy fire conditions, tens of millions of Americans are waking up to frigid winter weather from the Midwest down to the Gulf Coast. Thousands of homes still don't have power in many southern states after a record-breaking storm dropped nearly a foot of snow in some places that simply are not used to it. Officials warn the lack of snow plows in the south could mean roads will remain icy and dangerous for days. NBC News correspondent George Solis is live in New Orleans, which typically does not look like that. George, good morning.
Hey, Joe, good morning from a frozen and iconic Bourbon Street. Absolutely. It is insane to see these roads basically looking like an ice rink. Crews were working around the clock here, creating snow piles like these. So you see them here on Bourbon Street, and they're around the French Quarter. Something that we saw that was fairly unique was people playing hockey here. So we want to demonstrate just how slick these road conditions are. We have one of these palm fronds that fell, and we have some of this ice that's still on the roadway. And if it'll go, Yeah, get a sense right there of just how slick some of these conditions are. It just kind of moves along here, and this is why officials here are urging folks to stay off the roads. A once-in-a-lifetime southern storm causing chaos across the region. In Georgia, icy roads creating treacherous driving conditions and causing this 20-car pileup on a slick hill. Another road so impassable, many people abandon their vehicles. In Alabama, an early start on planned demolition for the Mobile Civic Center as the entire roof came crashing down under the weight of the snow. Canal and Bourbon streets in New Orleans completely covered in ice.
We're out here, you know,
slipping and sliding.
The city saw at least 8 inches of snow, tripling its previous all-time high more than 60 years ago. Tens of thousands in Georgia and Florida are still without power. The winter storm also blamed for 4 deaths across multiple states. 3 major bridges in Jacksonville, Florida closed due to multiple crashes and icy concerns, and hundreds of flights canceled and delayed across the region, causing long lines at Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport.
It's moving very slowly. It's like nothing I've ever seen before.
While the New Orleans airport looked like a ghost town, aerial views of New York City showing sheets of ice floating on the Hudson River, while snow also blanketed the coastline of the Carolinas.
Not supposed to snow at the beach.
Out west, the same Arctic air mass, plunging temperatures into the negatives in Wyoming, frigid enough to freeze one woman's wet hair in just seconds. While back in the south, many agree the cold has quickly worn out its welcome. How ready are you for this all to melt?
I'm ready. We packed warmly. We just didn't know there'd be 8 inches of snow.
Yeah, Joe, and it goes without saying, the other tricky part in trying to walk on some of these icy streets is not slipping. So far, no spills this morning. The other thing everyone's wondering is, when is travel going to improve? We're expecting, again, a little bit of a warm-up. In Jacksonville, the international airport, they're reopening. In Alabama, officials saying they're going to assess the runways to see if they can reopen this afternoon. Same goes here for New Orleans. So, again, the outlook starting to improve. Joe?
All right, George, thank you so much.
Let's stick with those severe weather conditions persisting across the country.
Michelle Grossman has more on those wind patterns fanning the Hughes Inferno, plus millions still under those cold alerts this morning. Some relief, though, in sight, right?
That's right. Hi there, guys. Yeah, we have some relief in sight in terms of the cold temperatures, like George mentioned, and in terms of the wind. Not today, but tomorrow we'll see improvement in Southern California. Also looking at lake effect snow showers. We're looking at dry conditions in the northern plains and central plains, but still really cold there. And we're looking at those cold conditions at least for the next few days before we start to moderate by the weekend. Starting out with the fire story, 10 million people still at risk and under red flag warnings through Friday. So today's going to be another tough day. We'll see those winds gusting up to 30, 40, 50, even 70 miles per hour in the mountains. And it's still exceptionally dry. We're looking at relative humidity levels in the single digits. So that makes it really tough. The debris is really dry as well. So we're going to watch that as we go throughout this Thursday before things improve on Friday. But the red flag warnings for places like Ventura, Santa Clarita, Pasadena, Big Bear Lake, also Temecula down to Escondido. Now, as we go throughout time here, we're going to see a critical risk once again throughout this today. But look what happens tomorrow. We have an onshore flow that's going to finally bring back some cooler temperatures, bring back a little more humidity coming off the Pacific. That's going to help conditions there on Friday. Bigger improvement on Saturday with some rain falling. An area of low pressure will move from the north all the way down to the south, bringing some lower elevation rains. Such good news. And higher elevation snow. We're going to see those snowfall levels right around 3,000 feet, and could see a bit good amount of snow, up to 2 feet in some spots. Then as we get towards Sunday, we're going to see those rainfall totals anywhere from a ½ inch to an inch. Notice those darker colors in Los Angeles, Riverside, Santa Ana, down in Temecula and Ramona. We could see some localized flooding, though, where we see the burn area. So just keep that in mind. We will continue to watch that over the weekend and update on Monday. But bitterly cold still in place. We're looking at some temperatures moderating, though. In the middle of the country, especially tomorrow, back to average temperatures. 36 million people still impacted by cold alerts. We have extreme cold advisories, extreme cold warnings. That's where you're looking at that dark pink color. So places like Monroeville, Panama City, still looking at some really cold temperatures. And actually, we had some record lows, and we will have some record lows continuing when we get those numbers in along the Gulf Coast into the southeast. This is why there's that jet stream dipped so far to the south. What does it do? It kind of allows that Arctic air mass to come in and overspread the area. So spilling all the way down to the south once again. We're looking at temperatures cold in Chicago, 20 degrees. Lots of 20s on the map here, Kansas City. We have freezing temperatures as well in Denver by this afternoon. And those 30s extend all the way down to Mobile, Alabama, 39, 21 degrees below what is typical for this time of year. Guys, we'll see another really cold day tomorrow. And then finally, we'll see kind of gradual. It's going to take a little while.
Day by day.
But warming.
All right.
Yes.
Going in the right direction.
Yes.
Thanks, Michelle.
Sure.
All right, let's switch gears to Washington now. President Trump continues to face bipartisan criticism over his decision to pardon 1,500 defendants linked to the January 6th Capitol attacks. The president is also pressing ahead with his contentious mass deportation plan and has ordered hundreds of troops to the southern border. NBC News senior White House correspondent Garrett Hake joins us now with all the latest. Garrett, good morning.
Hey, Joe. Good morning to you. And yeah, while the backlash to those controversial first-day pardons continue to play out, the new Trump administration is moving the full weight of the federal government to ramp up both border security and immigration enforcement inside the country. It's in keeping with a major campaign promise by the president, but with legal challenges soon to follow. This morning, President Trump and Republicans pushing ahead on his signature campaign promise with a flurry of immigration actions.
Who would ask for open borders with people pouring in?
Ordering the suspension of all border crossings, including asylum seekers, while the Pentagon moves to deploy an extra 1,500 troops to the southern border. And this morning, NBC News learning that the administration is giving officials from several agencies authority to carry out deportations, according to a senior Homeland Security official.
Not only is it going to be ICE engaging these raids, but also they're going to have support from their law enforcement partners in FBI, ATF, DEA, and U.S. Marshals.
But in a new Fox News interview, the president still focused on defending one of his other early moves, the decision to grant clemency to every person convicted in connection with the January 6th Capitol attack.
There was a lot of patriotism with those people.
Transition sources say he made the decision to issue the blanket pardons just days before his inauguration. Yesterday, Trump responding to criticism that the action covered even those who attacked police.
Some of those people with the police, true, but they were very minor incidents.
Daniel Hodges is one of the 140 officers assaulted by rioters during the attack.
I was beaten, crushed, kicked, punched, surrounded. Someone reached underneath my visor, tried to gouge out my eye. And all these people were just pardoned by Donald Trump, who says that they were the real victims, that they were the patriots.
One of those freed from federal prison, Oath Keepers militia founder Stuart Rhodes, convicted of seditious conspiracy for his role in plotting the attack, despite never setting foot in the Capitol on January 6th. But he did on Wednesday, where he said he was meeting with lawmakers. And former Proud Boys leader Enrique Tarrio returning home to Miami with his 22-year sentence for seditious conspiracy pardoned, offering this ominous message in an interview Tuesday.
The people who did this, they need to feel the heat.
And this morning, another key element of President Trump's immigration agenda will be tested for the first time in federal court. A judge in Seattle holding the first hearing later today on a multi-state lawsuit seeking to block Trump's order attempting to end birthright citizenship. At least 24 states are involved in lawsuits over that day one order, which they say is unconstitutional. Joe?
All right, Garrett, thank you.
We are hearing more from the bishop who made headlines after calling on President Trump to have mercy on marginalized groups. This is some of what Marianne Edgar Buddy, the Episcopal Bishop of Washington, had to say during the inaugural prayer service on Tuesday.
In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President, on those in our communities whose children fear that their parents will be taken away.
The president, vice president, and their families could be seen shaking their heads during the remarks. In a Truth Social post, Mr. Trump called Buddy a so-called bishop and radical left hardline Trump hater. The bishop defended her comments in an interview with MSNBC's Rachel Maddow last night. Take a listen.
We don't have to go to the highest extremes of contempt when we are in a position of disagreement. And I think if we could get that back as a country, we would go a long way in being able to work together to address the many problems that we face.
And when asked about the vitriol directed at her since the sermon, Buddy said people have said they, quote, wish me dead. She is urging fellow children of God to speak to one another with respect.
Let's turn now to the frightening scene that unfolded in Texas overnight.
7 San Antonio police officers were shot while responding to a call about a suicide in progress. NBC News correspondent Emily Ikeda is joining us with the latest details on this breaking story. Emily, good morning.
Guys, good morning to you. Fortunately, San Antonio police say that none of the officers' injuries are believed to be life-threatening after 7 were shot responding to a call that led to an hours-long standoff.
Overnight, a terrifying scene in Texas. 7 officers shot after responding to a call at this building in San Antonio. Police surrounding the apartment complex. Shortly before 9 p.m. Wednesday, officers received a call from a family member of the suspect for a suicide in progress, according to police.
The first officer arrived, was shot, and 6 others subsequent to that were shot as well.
Thankfully, the injuries to the officers are not life-threatening. When SWAT teams arrived, the suspect, described to be in his 40s, barricaded himself inside the apartment for several hours.
At the end of the event, the suspect was found to be deceased. We don't know if he was shot by a self-inflicted wound or whether or not he was shot by SWAT officers.
Some residents of the apartment complex were evacuated. Police say the suspect had 3 recent arrests last week on January 18th, 2 for assault and 1 for DWI. He was currently out on bond.
And we know at least 1 officer was shot in the torso, according to police. Several others were struck in their lower extremities by the suspect, who has yet to be publicly identified. The investigation is still ongoing as those officers recover.
Oh, all right, Emily, thank you.
Police are investigating a deadly school shooting in Nashville. Authorities say 1 teenager was killed and another was injured after another student opened fire at Antioch High School before fatally shooting himself. NBC News correspondent Kathy Park joins us now from Antioch, Tennessee, with the latest. Kathy, good morning.
Hey, Joe, good morning to you. Yeah, police have not established a connection between the shooter and the victims. And while authorities try to figure out a motive, they've already discovered some concerning online writings and social media posts linked to the gunman. Meanwhile, we do want to warn you that some of the video you're about to watch is graphic.
This morning, a Nashville area high school, now a crime scene, after a teenage gunman opened fire in the cafeteria.
This individual arrived at school on a bus, went into the restroom, I guess, to retrieve his weapon, and then went into the cafeteria.
The deadly shooting happening Wednesday morning at Antioch High School, where police say the 17-year-old gunman, identified as Solomon Henderson, shot and killed 16-year-old student Jocelyn Correa Escalante and injured another male student who was grazed in the arm by a bullet. Authorities say Henderson then turned the gun on himself. Police now trying to determine a possible motive.
There are some materials on the internet that we're looking at.
Students forced to flee, reacting to what unfolded just hours earlier.
We kept hearing like gunfire in the front of the cafeteria, then people looked around screaming.
NBC affiliate WSMV speaking with one student who shared a class with the gunman.
He was not a kid that you would think would do something like that, so I was really wondering what was going through his head.
Panicked parents waiting for hours to be reunited with their children.
Until I lay my actual eyes on her and I'm able to hold her again, you know, I won't feel 100%.
This latest attack triggering memories of the deadliest school shooting in Tennessee's history nearly 2 years ago, when a former student killed 3 students and 3 staff members at the Covenant School. That incident led to a big public push for stricter gun laws in the state, but was eventually struck down by the Republican-controlled legislature.
Grieve, feel what you feel.
Now, another school community in mourning and searching for answers.
And according to police, 2 school resource officers were here in the building yesterday, but not near the vicinity of the cafeteria. By the time they got there, the shooting was over. The gunman had taken his own life. Antioch High School will stay closed for the remainder of the week as the investigation continues. Savannah?
All right. Kathy, thank you so much.
Much more to come on this hour of Morning News Now, including the latest on America's ongoing fight against inflation, how President Trump is looking to tackle rising prices at the pump and at the grocery store.
First, after the break, Bryan Kohberger, the man accused of killing those 4 University of Idaho students back in 2022. He's expected back in court today. What's next in a murder case that has captivated America? We will be right back. We're back now with the latest developments in the murders of those 4 University of Idaho students. Today, the man accused in their brutal stabbing deaths, Bryan Kohberger, is expected to make his first court appearance of the new year. At the hearing, his legal team is set to challenge key evidence in the case against him in an effort to prevent prosecutors from presenting it at trial. NBC News senior legal correspondent Laura Jarrett has the latest.
Guys, for months, the defense team tried to keep this case from ever going to trial, but now that it is, they're hoping they can suppress all the strongest evidence against Bryan Kohberger. But what happens to the evidence found at the murder scene? Likely to prove most significant to both sides.
Bryan Kohberger back in court today as his attorneys try to convince a judge to throw out key evidence prosecutors plan to use against him.
State v. Kohberger.
Phone records, surveillance footage, and perhaps most importantly, DNA evidence, all now potentially on the chopping block. At the heart of the case, DNA left on a knife sheath found at that crime scene, and investigators' use of public ancestry websites to build a list of suspects. Without that, Kohberger's lawyers say there is no case, no request for his phone records, surveillance of his parents' home, and no DNA taken from the garbage outside that home.
How many hours of videotape do you think have been collected? A lot. Thousands?
Yes, easily.
The state firing back, saying those search warrants were based on substantial probable cause. Once Kohberger was arrested in 2022, prosecutors say investigators swabbed his mouth, discovering a statistical match to the DNA lifted off that knife sheath. Key evidence the state plans to introduce at trial, if the judge allows it. It's been over 2 years since prosecutors charged Kohberger with the murder of 4 students at the University of Idaho: Madison Mogen, Kaylee Gonsalves, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin. Cameras were in the courtroom as the judge entered a not guilty plea on Kohberger's behalf early on, but the doors to at least some of today's arguments are closed to the public. Kaylee Gonsalves' parents traveled to Boise for today's proceedings, but the closed portion of the hearing will be closed to them too.
It is very hard for us to be treated as if we are the general public.
It's really hard to be, just shut out of everything every time, and we just want answers.
Last month on Today, Madison Mogen's mother echoing the Gonsalves family's frustrations with how the case has played out so far.
I would say that I feel like the legal system is not about the victims, and I'll leave it at that.
This closely watched hearing set to get underway later this morning, but the judge not expected to rule right away. Back to you.
All right, Laura, thank you.
Joining us now for more is NBC News Now legal analyst Angela Senadella. Angela, good morning. So as we heard there, the center of today's hearing, the DNA evidence on the knife, and then also these sort of public ancestry databases, which have become so huge for solving crimes over the last decade. Does Kohberger's defense team have strong arguments here?
I actually think that they do have a strong constitutional argument here, and that's because of the Fourth Amendment. Look, it protects against unreasonable search and seizure. So what that means is that every time a crime happens in this country, you can't just ransack every home in America, right? You have to have probable cause. And what their team's argument here is that a genetic database like this is even more intimate, even more personal, gives way more information than, for example, like going into every house in America. And here, it's not even a direct match to him. It was in building a family tree, which also makes me feel like perhaps his relatives also have some sort of a privacy-based constitutional argument here. Like, these searches, the scope of them have to be limited, and in this case, it seems like it really was not.
If they are able to get this thrown out, how's that impact the case?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, here it seems like it would be make or break. There is certainly a lot of circumstantial evidence, but it's really just that. It's circumstantial, right? For example, they have cell phone data, cell phone records, but they are basing their suspicion around him on the fact that he turned his cell phone off during that time. Like, that's not really that direct. There's also video footage of his white Hyundai Elantra in the neighborhood many times. So those are obviously good arguments as well, but the DNA is really central to this case.
We know how slowly this has been moving, seems to be moving a little faster since moving to Boise. What's next now in this process, especially after the judge makes a decision in this issue?
Right, so this will be huge because this might even take 2 days of motions. There's a lot for them to get through, and it's not just of this DNA. It's also over things like cell phone records, and his team is also claiming that the prosecution hasn't even given him all the evidence, all the research, everything that they need to move forward. So there's also here a motion to compel discovery. All of these are motions that need to be decided before any further movement in this case, and that means it's going to take a long time.
All right. More time. Angeles and Adele, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Sure do. Coming up, could it be time to scrap your kitchen spatula?
After the break, we're going to dig into a recent study pointing to some potentially dangerous chemicals in black-colored utensils. Everything you need to know next.
Welcome back. There's a luxury dupe that people are snapping up. Fashionistas are flocking to Walmart for a chance to own a bag that looks a lot like a Birkin, but costs a fraction of the price. NBC News correspondent Valerie Castro gives us a look at the so-called workin' bag that's blowing up on TikTok.
More than 20 years after Samantha Jones first coveted a Birkin bag on Sex and the City.
Oh, honey, it's not so much the style, it's what carrying it means. It means you're around $4,000. Exactly.
The exclusive Hermes handbag remains synonymous with wealth and status.
Working for a Birkin.
Getting one requires a relationship with an Hermes associate, a years-long wait list, and up to tens of thousands of dollars to acquire.
The Birkin bag. All handmade, and look at those tiny stitches.
But now getting that Birkin look,
you can pretend,
just got a lot easier.
But you got Birkin.
Walmart selling nearly identical bags from third-party sellers for less than $100.
This is my Birkin. This is my workin'.
Social media flooded with reviews of what fans are calling the workin' or Walmart Birkin.
Fake it until y'all make it.
With many shoppers complimenting the quality.
It feels pretty luxury.
The quality of it is actually so nice.
This feels so nice.
Reality TV star and entrepreneur Bethany Frankel is no stranger to the luxury handbag market.
I don't think you could find someone who's a bigger expert on the handbag gamut. I really do know this space.
Sharing that expertise to her millions of followers on social media and comparing the workin' with one of her real Birkins in a viral video.
This does have the diagonal stitching, which is what Hermes does do, but there's a lot of disparity in the stitching.
The high price tag of the Birkin comes in part from the bag's premium materials, which can include leather, palladium, gold, and even ostrich and crocodile skin, plus hours of labor by skilled craftspeople who make the bags by hand. The brand's artistic director defending the cost of the patented Birkin to 60 Minutes.
We're about craft. We're not machines. And we are not compromising on the quality of the way we make the bags.
The workins are made of a mix of real and faux leather and include an additional crossbody strap for everyday functionality. Differences aside, Frankel says the workin is still a quality piece.
From a functional standpoint, this looks very expensive. This is disruptive. This is a disruptive bag. I was going to not keep it, and then I thought, it actually is beautiful.
She believes the Walmart dupes actually mark a huge shift in the world of luxury goods. The resale value of the Birkin as a collectible increasing year over year, outpacing gold between 1980 and 2015, according to the online luxury reseller Bag Hunter.
The people that collect Hermes bags and are terrified of the reduction in their investment, or that everybody gets to have one, because there's no point in having an Hermes bag if everyone can have one. And then the person who can afford the $85 bag, loud and proud wearing it and saying, let's all wear it, let's show them we get to be part of this club too.
Knockoff Birkins are nothing new. Jane Birkin, the late actress and singer who inspired the bag, telling Vogue in 2011, it's very nice that everyone's got one or wants one. If people want to go for the real thing, fine. If they go for copies, that's fine too. I really don't think it matters. Hermes is in the middle of an antitrust lawsuit for making customers buy other items before they're even allowed to buy a Birkin. The company has denied wrongdoing, calling the claims far-fetched. We reached out for comment and did not hear back.
Does it level the playing field? It levels the playing field. And what remains to be seen is whether the awareness makes people want the Hermes bag more, or if it just makes it not as special because everybody's got either a knockoff or a very closely inspired by.
The look-alike of a bag nearly impossible to own, now at the fingertips of any average American.
Every housewife in America knows of a Walmart. And what happened was this gave them license to wear it. Walmart said it's okay.
Our thanks to Valerie Castro for that report and quite the interview. If you're in the market for a Workin, though, you might need to wait a while or search the secondhand sites just like you do for a real Birkin. The bags appear to be sold out on Walmart's website.
Just get that instead of gold. All right, now we're taking a closer look at a recent study detecting potentially dangerous chemicals in your everyday black plastic kitchen items.
Yeah, it's important to note that the research team issued a correction saying the risks in the initial review were overstated. But some people are still wondering if it's time to throw out, look at the screen, these black plastic spatulas and spoons. You've got senior consumer investigative correspondent and News Now anchor Vicki Wynn is here with more on what we need to know. Vicki, good morning.
Hi, good morning to you, Savannah and Joe. Chances are you have some black plastic utensils at home or those takeout containers in your kitchen. Well, a lot of questions are being asked about the safety of these items, so we went to the experts.
Black plastic utensils are out.
The headlines were alarming, warning consumers to ditch black plastic utensils. The push after a recent study from Toxic Free Future found flame retardants in some utensils, containers, and toys. Black plastic, unlike other colors, has been found to contain recycled electronics made with these chemicals. The research findings were later corrected after the initial study wrongly stated some of the chemicals found in black plastic were close to unsafe levels under U.S. standards. The results were actually less than 1/10 of those levels. Still, study co-author Megan Liu says no level of flame retardant should be allowed in products that touch our food.
Flame retardants are known to be really harmful to human health. They have been linked to cancer, reproductive and developmental harm.
So, should you throw out all of your black plastic? Not so fast, according to Dr. Joe Zagorski. He's a toxicologist for the Center of Research on Ingredient Safety at Michigan State University.
Every chemical can be both safe or harmful if present in the right amount. And so the amounts that are present or were detected in this study don't rise to a level that would concern me in terms of human safety.
We reached out to the Plastics Industry Association, who said in part, the products we make are safe and we follow regulations set by the EPA and FDA. Researchers say consumers should avoid using plastics for cooking in high heat and steer clear of microwaving it because growing research shows exposing plastic to heat can cause it to leach into food. And throw out any plastic food containers that show signs of wear.
If you don't know that the container that you're using is meant for a high heat environment, it's probably best to just transfer it to a glass container and use that.
So, some questions for you here.
Yeah.
What are some good alternatives? Are people worried about this and they don't want to use their black plastic cooking utensils as a precaution?
Right. 3 key alternatives you can use: wooden cooking utensils, stainless steel, or silicone. There are trade-offs, right? With wood, you're not supposed to put it in the dishwasher because that'll ruin it over time. Stainless steel's great, but if you have a lot of nonstick pans, that will degrade your nonstick pans. And then silicone is a form of plastic, but the folks at the non-toxic agencies will say that it doesn't melt the same way that plastic does. It doesn't release the same kinds of chemicals, and it's often rated for higher heat cooking. You just want to follow the manufacturer's instructions.
Does the stainless, is it scratch it, or what do you mean it degrades?
Stainless steel will scratch those nonstick surfaces, and when those get scratched, you don't want to use those pans because that will release a different type of chemical.
Vicious cycle.
Yes, indeed.
All right.
You've got a lot to keep up with these days.
But just don't reuse the container.
And eat it all in one setting so you don't microwave it ever.
Vicki, thank you. Coming up, inflation back in the spotlight this morning as gas and grocery prices continue to put a strain on many Americans' wallets.
But what's President Trump's plan for tackling it all? Will he be able to follow through with one of his biggest campaign promises? We'll break it down for you next. We are back with a look at the soaring cost of eggs and now also the price jump at the gas pump.
This is President Trump signs multiple orders aimed at tackling inflation and lowering energy prices for for many Americans.
We've got NBC News senior business correspondent Christine Romans here to break it down. Christine, good morning. So gas prices up again. What's going on?
Yeah, I was watching overnight. They're up another penny or two overnight. They're up they're 5 cents higher today than they were a year ago, and they've jumped a dime almost in the last month. So threats of new sanctions against Russia. Of course, Russia is a big oil producer, and since that invasion of Ukraine, oil prices have had this floor underneath them because of that loss of supply, and also some concerns potentially about tariffs on Canada. Guess what? We do import a lot of dirty crude oil from Canada that's refined here in the United States, and then that is what people in the Midwest are driving in their cars for gasoline. So some concerns about that, even as the president vows to cut energy prices in half over the next year.
So we know gas prices are something he cares deeply about. Yeah. Is there anything he can do to try and lower gas prices?
It's a very big, complicated global market. Generally, presidents can set the tone for things, but they can't really, there's not a lever they can move for gas prices. That said, he has declared an energy emergency. He wants big drilling. He wants a lot of mining and drilling in Alaska that he hopes drill will lower prices. That won't happen overnight.
What about groceries? We mentioned eggs. What's going on there?
So still watching this egg crisis. It's been a 2-year-long bird flu crisis for egg. This is the average price for a dozen of grade A eggs, $4.15, back to the highest in a year. But if you are in some parts of the East Coast, you're seeing $7, maybe $8, and you might be seeing shortages. I keep seeing shortages in some of my grocery stores. So the prices is one thing, the availability is another thing. A lot of the big chains, grocery chains, tell us they're making sure that eggs are available. They're making sure there's not price gouging, but it is something you notice. Lots of birds have been infected by this bird flu. There has been culling of flocks, and it has been 2 years now where you've had millions of these birds that have grown sick. And this is something that hopefully by the end of the year, experts are telling me these prices will start to decline, but right now still very high.
When we talk about just inflation overall, we know that was one of, if not the biggest issue of the election. We know President Trump issued this memo this week, basically to agencies saying, hey, lower your costs. It's not a magic wand, but what is it they can try to do to get inflation even lower?
It's symbolic, is the way I've been describing it. And it tells every agency your issue number one is figuring out what you can do inside your own agencies to lower prices for Americans. But it doesn't order, for example, grocery stores or truckers or any place along the supply chain to lower their prices or cap their prices. So it is symbolic. It sets the tone that this is important in terms of Washington and Washington action, but it's not quite actionable quite yet.
What about groceries aside from eggs, where it has more to do with the ongoing economic conditions in the country than something like bird flu?
So the interesting thing about groceries is grocery prices have ticked up for the last 4 months, just a little bit after being flat for most of last year. So we're going to really want to watch that overall. The problem with inflation is that even as inflation, the rate starts to slow down and moderate. That's after higher prices for 3 years. So people still look at their grocery bill, and it's 20% higher today than it was in 2019. And the mood of America, and I think this is one of the big reasons that Donald Trump was elected and he really tapped into this, the mood in America is we want it back the way it was. We want the lower prices. And the president...
They want deflation.
They want, which is also not a good thing in an economy. But I think that will be the real test for Donald Trump. He'll either have to change expectations for that, or he'll have to really deliver on lowering prices for gas and groceries.
All right, Christine Romans, thank you so much.
Now to some new economic data that is coming in just this morning.
Yes, NBC's Silvana Henao has the latest read on unemployment and also some financial headlines for us. Hey, Silvana.
Hey, Savannah. Hey, Joe. Good morning. Yeah, we are getting a fresh snapshot on the U.S. economy with jobless claims coming in a little bit better than expected, but still not where we needed to be for the Fed to make its rate decision. We will see what the decision is at the next meeting, which is coming up just next week. All right, a record number of U.S. companies in China looking to relocate. It's a record high. An annual survey by the American Chamber of Commerce in China finds 30% considered or started the process of moving elsewhere in 2024. Now, the survey covers 368 companies, and it was conducted from late October to mid-November after the election, and they cite U.S.-China tensions, competition from state-run or privately owned Chinese companies, and the struggling economy. And more than half of U.S. companies say they didn't make a profit in China last year. And, listen to this, Post Malone has teamed up with many brands over the past few years, including Bud Light and Doritos. Well, now the rapper and country music star has unveiled a partnership with Oreos. The limited edition Post Malone Oreos feature a swirl of salted caramel and shortbread cream, 2 different flavors, chocolate or golden, and the cookies have images from different parts of his career. They will be available for pre-sale on Monday from Oreo's website and in stores nationwide on February 3rd.
I'm a huge Post Malone fan.
There you go.
I'm not really an Oreo fan. You know,
now maybe you will be.
I did wear my Post Malone sweatshirt this morning.
Thanks, Savannah. Appreciate it.
Coming up, it's that time of year again.
Yeah, award season heating up with the Oscar nominations out just this morning. Who better to take us through them all than friend of the show and pop culture whiz Brian Balthazar. Grab your popcorn. He joins us next. Finally, this hour, the Oscar nominations were just announced in Los Angeles. History was made in at least one category as the first openly trans actor was nominated for an Oscar.
The unveiling of the list of hopefuls had to be postponed twice because of the wildfires burning in Southern California, which weighed heavy on the announcements, of course.
For more, let's bring in entertainment journalist, pop culture expert, and friend of the show, Brian Balthazar. Hi, Brian, like you, I'm quickly going through the list. I have to say, no real stunners, kind of what we expected in a year where the field's wide open. But let's start with Best Picture. They've got to do 10 films for this one, so plenty of room for some maybe smaller films to get in the picture. Wicked's on there, Anora, which is a favorite with a lot of folks who love movies. Talk about the Best Picture race. Any surprises there?
That's right. I mean, I think I'm not super surprised. As you said, we have The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, we all expected that one, Dune Part 2, which doesn't show up in a lot of the other ones, but again, we see 10 nominations here. Emilia Perez, we expected. I'm Still Here. Nickel Boys, I would say, was one that was kind of on the fence. A lot of critics and reviewers weren't sure if that was going to make it. The Substance, which I think we'll be talking a lot about in the coming weeks because Demi Moore will be talking about in a minute. And Wicked. I think what people were probably most struck by is that a lot of them said nominees yet to be determined because, of course, as you said, the delays due to the wildfires, paperwork, and voting was all delayed because of the tragedy happening out in California right now.
Brian, let's now get into some of the specific categories. Lead actor, we know Adrien Brody, seen as a favorite for his role in The Brutalist, even though we had this whole conversation yesterday about the use of AI and how that might impact things. Walk us through who's in this category.
Sure, that's right. We have Adrien Brody, we have Timothée Chalamet for A Complete Unknown, Coleman Domingo for Sing Sing, Ralph Fiennes for Conclave, and Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice. We thought maybe he had 2 shots because he was in 2 really incredible films this year. So I don't think there were many surprises here, although, you know, there was some talk about Adrien Brody, the producers using AI to help his Hungarian accent in the film. Apparently that didn't play a role. Of course, much of the voting for this did take place before this story was widely known. But again, he won the Golden Globe, so I think he's got a very good shot at the Oscar as well.
Yeah, the question now is if the AI controversy will pick up steam when it comes to the actual voting. We're going to have to wait and see. I mean, Adrien already has an Oscar, so, you know, he's probably okay.
He's okay.
Yeah, all right, let's get to Best Actress here. History made Carla Sofia Gascon, the first openly trans woman, picking up a Best Actress nomination for Emilia Perez. Cynthia Erivo did make it. There was some question whether she'd make it or whether she'd have to wait for her second year. Right. And you mentioned it right there. At the bottom of that list in front of us, I gotta think is the favorite is Demi Moore, right?
I do. I mean, I think, you know, she mentioned when she won the Golden Globe, that's the first time she's ever won an award for her performances in acting. So I'm rooting for her. I think we have a lot of great people to choose from, though, in this category. It's going to be a very interesting event.
We mentioned AI already, Brian. What do you think about when it comes to voting? Do you think, like, we know we got to this point already kind of in tandem with that story picking up steam. So now when people go to vote, you think it could have an impact?
I think it may. You know, as you know, we've talked about this together over the past couple of years, the rules about AI, and now that we're really confronting it in such a way, I think we've known, you know, CGI has been happening on actors' faces for a long time. Now we're hearing it manifest in their voices and their performances a little bit more than we've ever seen before. So I think there are going to be some people that are a little bit soured by The Brutalist. Sofia Garcon, her voice was enhanced to hit some of the high notes. I don't think that's going to affect her, but I think when it comes to actual spoken performances, it might.
Let's hit on Best Director here. We got Sean Baker for Anora, Brady Corbet for The Brutalist. John Chu for Wicked did not get nominated. Maybe not a total surprise. What do you think?
Well, right. I know. I mean, we kind of got a clue when the Golden Globe nominations came out and he didn't get nominated either. But, you know, there are 10 nominees for Best Motion Picture. And there, as you can see, there's only 5 for Best Director. Not everyone can get nominated. So I'm not super shocked, but I think he's got to be obviously very disappointed. The team at Wicked has to be a little disappointed this morning.
If you are a Succession fan, keep your eye on supporting actor because Kieran Culkin and Jeremy Strong will be going head-to-head in that category for their respective movies as well. I know, and Kieran might be the favorite this time around, too. All right, Brian, thank you so much. Once again, the Oscars are on Sunday, March 2nd. So something to look forward to there.
Absolutely. I also think on the John Chu thing, that makes me sad because I liked Wicked a lot, but he's got another chance.
There's another one.
Yeah,
I think this is one of those situations where the second part of Wicked might do better in the Oscars.
Yeah.
So Ariana Grande to get a nomination today, too.
Yeah.
So that's going to do it for this hour of Morning News Now.
Let's stick with us. The news continues right now.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.